Hi, boys and girls. Here's our second story for this week, Lesson 4B. Our Savior dies. And again, you can find this in all four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It was about 9 o'clock on Friday morning when Jesus was crucified. The Roman soldiers nailed his hands and feet to the cross. They also crucified two criminals. Over Jesus' head, the soldiers fastened the sign Pilate had written. It read, "Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews." When the soldiers crucified Jesus, he prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Many people, led by the Jewish leaders, made fun of Jesus while he hung on the cross. Even the two criminals who were crucified with him joined in making fun of Jesus. But as the hours went by, one criminal changed completely. When he heard the other man continue to insult Jesus, he said to him, "Don't you fear God, even now when you're getting the same punishment as he is? We deserve this punishment, but this man has done nothing wrong." Then he turned to Jesus and said, "Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom." Jesus saw the faith of this criminal's heart. He replied, "I promise that today you will be with me in paradise." Many of Jesus' friends and followers had also come to Calvary. They watched sadly while Jesus was suffering on the cross. Among them were Mary, his mother, and John, one of his disciples. Jesus looked down at his mother and said, "Dear woman, here is your son." Then he turned to John and said, "Here is your mother." John understood what Jesus meant. From that time on, he took Mary into his own home and took care of her. Around noon, the sun stopped shining and the sky became as dark as night. It stayed that way until 3 o'clock. During this time, Jesus said nothing. He was now suffering not only the pain of the crucifixion, but also the punishment for the sins of the whole world. As he was suffering the most, Jesus cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" After this, Jesus said, "I am thirsty," which made another Old Testament prophecy come true. At once, a soldier ran and grabbed a sponge. He soaked it in wine, and then he put it on a stick and held it up to Jesus' lips. After Jesus had drunk some of the wine, he shouted, "It is finished." This was a cry of victory. Jesus knew he had finished everything his Father had sent him into the world to do. He had suffered everything necessary to set all people free from their sins. Jesus then spoke from the cross one last time. He said, "Father, into your hands I place my soul." Then he bowed his head and died. At that moment, a thick, heavy curtain in the temple that hung between the holy place and the most holy place ripped from top to bottom. The earth shook and large rocks split apart. Even more amazing, graves opened up and many believers who had died came back to life and walked out of their graves. After Jesus' resurrection on Easter Sunday, these risen believers appeared to many people in the city of Jerusalem. When the Roman captain, who was in charge of the soldiers at the crucifixion, saw the way Jesus died and the miracles that took place, he said, "Surely this was the Son of God." This is the end of our lesson.